And speaking of negotiation, the next decision was taken without any. It's as unilateral as they come. I'm talking about Japan. Their government is releasing radioactive water from Fukushima into the Pacific Ocean. The process will start tomorrow. It could take decades to be completed. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida visited the Fukushima plant this week. He took stock of the preparations.
TEPCO is asked to swiftly prepare to start the water discharge in accordance with the plan approved by the Nuclear Regulation Authority. As for the specific release date, it is expected to be August 24, weather and sea conditions permitting.
But Japan's neighbors are not happy, especially China. They're calling this a selfish move.
It is blatantly transferring the risk of nuclear contamination to the whole world and putting its own selfish interests above the long-term well-being of all humankind. This is extremely selfish and irresponsible. China is gravely concerned about it and strongly opposes it.
Maybe China is concerned, or maybe they're just getting even. Last week, Japan and South Korea held a trilateral summit in the US at Camp David. Joe Biden hosted it. They had some tough words for China. Beijing was called aggressive and dangerous, so maybe this is tit for tat. But let's keep the politics aside. Let's focus on the science and the public reaction. The Fukushima nuclear plant is located around 250 kilometers from Tokyo. In 2011, it was hit by an earthquake and tsunami. The reactors were badly damaged. 3 of them had a nuclear meltdown. So what did authorities do? They used vast amounts of water to cool down the reactors to stabilize them. This wastewater was radioactive. So instead of dumping it, Japan had to store it. How much water are we talking about here? Around 1.3 million metric tons. It's enough to fill 500 Olympic-sized swimming pools. 500. This water is held inside 1,000 steel containers around the plant. Why is it being released now? Because Japan is running out of space. They need more water to completely decommission the plant. But for that, the existing wastewater must be dumped somewhere. How will they do it? The wastewater has already been treated. Most experts say it is not poisonous. It will be mixed with seawater and released into the ocean. Now, this water has just one radioactive isotope in it. It's called tritium. This isotope is pretty common. Even rainwater has it. So experts say the science checks out. The United Nations Atomic Watchdog has also signed off on it. They say the impact will be quote-unquote negligible. But tell that to the people. There are protests in China, in South Korea, in the Philippines and in Hong Kong. Fishermen in Japan are also protesting. Their logic is quite simple. If you release this water, no one will buy the fish. They will think it's poisonous. And it's hard to argue with that. The common man is not concerned about isotopes or tritium. They're concerned about the impact. Will it affect my life and business or not? That's all they care about. For many in Japan, the answer to those questions is yes.
I think it's unscientific at best to release it here, and it's sure to hurt sales of fish. That's why I'm strongly against it. I don't want them to do it.
I have some concerns about the Fukushima water release. If the government is really going to do it, I would like them to show more evidence that it won't have any effect on the environment.
I know it's too late now. Japan is all set to begin the release tomorrow. They have diluted some of the wastewater with seawater. If the weather permits, it will be released. So it's pointless to debate whether Japan should have done this or not. The science was solid, the reasons were justified, and the United Nations signed off. But how they did it is a different debate altogether. No consensus, no confidence building, no transparency. Surely there was a better way to do it. Japan could have spent more time and money building awareness, perhaps invite neighbors to see the ground reality, let them conduct tests. Instead, Japan decided to go it alone. One report from the UN watchdog is not enough. Such issues require more negotiations, more inspections. Only then can you build consensus. Japan did not bother with it. And as a result, they have set a bad example. What is stopping other countries from doing the same with nuclear wastewater? Well, after tomorrow, nothing. We're not saying Japan should store this water for eternity. We're saying build consensus. Maybe China would still have objected to the plan, but the fact is we'll never know because Japan never tried. 12 years after the nuclear accident, Fukushima continues to teach us a lot on what not to do.